The brain registers all pleasures in the same way, no matter what causes it, whether it be substances, drink, food, or activities. The set of chemical processes in the brain that makes you feel that pleasure are the same. In all cases, it is caused by the release of dopamine in the nucleus accumbens, a cluster of nerve cells underneath the cerebral cortex. This area of the brain is so closely linked to pleasure that neuroscientists call it the brain's pleasure center. The likelihood of us getting addicted to a particular thing all depends on how fast it increases the dopamine levels in our brain. For example, drinking coffee causes our nucleus accumbens to release dopamine slowly and steadily. So it's highly unlikely to cause addiction, although not impossible. Whereas drugs such as nicotine, meth, cocaine and heroin all cause a powerful and very rapid release of dopamine in our brain. When this happens, another part of our brain, called the hippocampus, which is responsible for forming memories, creates new memories of this rapid sense of satisfaction, creating an eternal link in our brains between the drug and a feeling of intense pleasure. Since our body likes to feel pleasure, another part of our brain, the amygdala, creates a permanent positive response to certain stimuli related to our addiction, such as the smell of cigarette smoke. So, when the addict smells this, they will crave a cigarette. This is why regular smokers find the smell of cigarette smoke intensely pleasurable, whereas non-smokers find it unpleasant. But by far the most dangerous part of addiction is how our brain builds up a tolerance. In nature, dopamine is hard to come by and requires a significant effort to achieve. Whereas drugs and other addictions provide us with a shortcut, drugs can provide our brain with up to 10 times as much dopamine as anything that can be found in nature. Our brain hasn't yet developed to withstand such an overload of dopamine release. So to protect our brain receptors from becoming overloaded, over time our brain turns down the volume on our brain receptors, making them significantly less receptive to future dopamine releases. This has a devastating effect, because the addict will now have to increase their dosage to feel the same amount of pleasure that they did the previous time. And so, every time an addict indulges their fix, their next dosage will have to be increased to achieve the same high. This is a vicious cycle that gets exponentially worse until the body can't take the dosage anymore and it breaks down.